After 2 rounds of the regional 4-day tournament, the members of the West Indies team that have went to Australia are yet to make any significant contribution in the tournament. There have been 7 scores over 300, with Leeward Islands Hurricane 352 against the Guyana Happy Eagle being the highest total thus far. Barbados Pride 344 for 8 against the combined colleges and campus was also one of the highest score. Mikhail Lewis, or Lewis some would say, with 307 runs is the leading wicket taker in the tournament. 3 of the 4 times that he have batted, he have passed 50, with converting 2 of those into centuries. Chadwick Walton of Jamaica Scorpion scored the highest individual innings of 163. There have been 7 centuries in total in the tournament at this stage. In the bowling department, Ryan John, with his 13 wickets, is the leading wicket taker. Sishan Morat, the 17-year-old university student out of Barbados, with his 7 wickets, 7 for 103 of 31.2 overs against the Jamaican Scorpion, is the best bowling figures thus far in the tournament. 8 bowlers have taken more than 10 wickets, and there have been 9 5 wickets all in the tournament thus far. Roshane Morris of Jamaica is the leading wicket keeper thus far with 9 dismissals. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. This evening I'm joined by Andre Douglas and Andre Billy. Both the Andres are in the house this evening. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, viewers. I really appreciate you guys being here. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure. Now, let's take a look at the numbers in the tournament thus far. First, we will look at the leading run scorers at this time. There have been 6 batsmen who have scored more than 150 runs at this stage of the tournament. Among them is Mikhail Lewis, who has scored 307 with 2 centuries averaging 76.75. Chadwick Walton, the Jamaican, is on 233, having scored 1 century. At that big 163 to be the highest single inning score in the tournament. His average is above Mikhail with 77.6. They are followed by Kevin Wickham, who has scored a century, and also Jamar Hamilton, who, although not scoring a century, have made 181 runs, and Solanzo from Trinidad, playing for the Windward Island Volcanoes, is on 154. When we take a look at the leading wicket takers in the tournament, we see where Ryan John, with his 13 wickets, led that table, followed by Warwickon, Jeremiah Louis, who someone can tell me whether he is the brother of Mikhail Louis or not. Ned, he has 11 wicket. Also on 11 wicket is Springer, that's Shamar Springer. Gordon Bryan of 10. Chaim Older, not Chaim Older, the off spinner out of Barbados, is on 10-2, and Joshua Bishop is on 10. Significantly, among these 8 bowlers who have got 10 wickets or more in the tournament, there are 3 left-arm orthodox spinners. What is the reason for this? I do not know at this time, but clearly the batsmen in the region are not really picking the left-arm orthodox spinner. When we look at the players that have returned from the World Cup, it is very embarrassing because we look at McCaskey, not from the World Cup, I apologize, from the Australian tour. McCaskey has made 72 runs thus far. Sinclair 52, Chanderpaul 47, Brathwaite 27, Hodge 26, and Mackenzie 19. Those are the ones that have played in the tournament thus far. I do not know what has happened to Hatanese. I do not know what has happened to Imlak. And certainly, I'm not sure at this time what have happened also to Greaves. I don't know what have happened to Rhodes, so maybe someone can tell me. We are aware that Alzari Joseph is resting, and we are aware that Shamar Joseph is at the Pakistan Super League, and that Joshua Da Silva is injured. But those players who have come back from Australia tour are not performing. When you look at the two bowlers who have played thus far, who went to Australia, Akeem Jordan have got only 4 wickets. 19 bowlers have gotten more wickets than Akeem Jordan. He have bowled 46 overs and have only gotten 4 wickets. Also, Kevin Sinclair bowled 46 overs also, and he have only gotten 2 wickets. 32 bowlers have gotten more wickets at this stage than Kevin Sinclair. Now, back to when we look now at the points table in the tournament thus far. We see where the Windward Islands, they are leading the tournament with 42.4 points. I can tell you, I cannot work out the points table. I'll just have to wait until Cricket West Indies release it. But 42 points, I think they get 24 of those points from winning their 2 matches, the other 18.4 from bonus points. Second on the table is the Leeward Islands. Jamaica is third with 24.4 points, and occupying the bottom of the table at this time is the combined campuses and colleges. They are at the bottom of the table at this time. Now, the third round of the tournament starts Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. local time in the country. It is started. Now, Jamaica Scorpion will play against Barbados Pride. The Windward Island Volcanoes will play against the CCC. The Leeward Islands Hurricane will play against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, and the West Indies Academy will play against Guyana at Coolidge. So that is the fixture, and that is a summary of what have happened thus far in the tournament. At this time, I'm going to welcome my guest, and I'm going to ask Andre Billy to tell me what he thinks about the bowling of Zishan Morat and give us some background to this young leg spinner out of Barbados. Andre,
All right. Thank you again, Sir Carlton, and good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to your viewers over the world. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So, Zishan Martaza, 17-year-old left-arm spinner from Barbados. First season playing within the regional competition, and in this match he had return of 7 for 108 and also 0 for 24 versus the Jamaica against the Jamaica team. Now, I've watched a lot of the Jamaica team and I've seen how they play the young man. I'm not going to say he did not bowl well, but some of the shots that the batters played against him, I think they're not reading him, and he doesn't get much turn on the ball as well. So it goes to show that perhaps the Jamaica team has some amount of issues in playing spin. He does not turn the ball a whole lot. He gets a bit of a bounce, but not much in terms of turn. So what I think is that the Jamaica team is not very adept at playing spin, but for the young man to be taking 7 wickets at such a young age and at such an early stage in his career, I have to say kudos to him. I'm not going to give him his flowers just yet. I'll give him his flowers for his 7 for. Obviously, that's a very good achievement, but I'm a person who likes to wait for a player to get a more thorough examination before drawing any conclusion. So at the moment, it's an open slate. I'll watch him some more in the tournament, for example, in round 2 and round 3 to see how he goes and how he plays under different conditions and versus different batters to draw a more comprehensive conclusion about him.
Thank you very much. Andre Douglas, what do you think about Mikhail Louis? He is the surprise batsman so far in the tournament, and he has scored over 307 runs, passing 350 on passing 50 on 3 occasions, converting 2 of them into centuries. Tell us about Mikhail Louis, please, Andre.
Yeah, Mikel Louis. I get to understand that he has come through the ranks in the Leeward system, through the youth rank. He has been around for quite some time in their system, and he's a very, very talented young man. But to play, let me commend him, congratulate him on the scoring a century in each innings in his last game. Very few players have done that throughout the region. So he must be commended for such an effort. I get to understand he's a nice stroke player. He plays well against both pace and spin, and to score a century in each innings, and he also scored a half century in his first match. He must be commended. And I didn't see enough of his innings really, but I get to understand that it has been really, really he has played really well in the first two games, and I look forward to great things from the young man for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much, Andre. Sticking with you, Andre, tell us, why do you think that Sinclair have only gotten 2 wickets thus far and Jordan has only gotten 4? What is it that is wrong with these bowlers who are in Australia? Why they are not getting any wickets?
I honestly, well, I'm unfortunately I've not been able to see any of Sinclair's of Sinclair. I've not seen him any at all in the game, so I don't know the reason for that. And but we know that Sinclair really is not the biggest spinner of the cricket ball, and I don't know how the pitch played and what really happened there. Jordan, as it relates to Jordan, I saw a little of him in the first game. I thought that he didn't bowl that badly in the first game, to be honest. But I expected him to be a little bit more consistent than what he did, than what he gave us. So I hope that he'd be a little bit more consistent in his line and length. It's normally he swings the ball both ways and get a lot of movement. So I really expect that to see some improvement in that regard. And playing at Sabana, he's going to be playing at Sabana Park. The pitch offers a little bit, especially in the early part of the game. So let us hope that he will, improve in that regard and take some more wickets.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Douglas. Back to you, Andre Billy. Now we look at these totals from the West Indies batsmen that went to Australia. And this is their performances in the regional 4-day cricket up to this stage. McCaskey 72, Sinclair 52, Chanderpaul 47, Brathwaite 27, Hodge 26, and Mackenzie 19. What do you think is the cause of this performance, Andre?
All right, so let's start with McCaskey. Having been called in the West Indies squad and having returned from Australia, yes, he didn't play an international game. But as we have discussed so far, we would have expected that these persons who have experienced what it is to tour, to travel with a team, would at least bring back some of their experiences from that tour and try to make themselves a better player within the regional competition. So I saw a couple of McCaskey's dismissal. In my opinion, I think he's trying to be a little bit too aggressive too early in his innings. He needs to try and get a better pace off the wicket before playing those expansive shots. And he needs to keep his bat a little bit more closer to his body. So that would be my assessment of him so far. But, these players, I think some of them were not yet really ready for international cricket. They were selected based on a tricky situation that we're in. So they're still in the developmental stages. Not for all the persons I've highlighted on the screen. I'm just speaking directly to McCaskey.
Okay, so what about Chanderpaul, Brathwaite in particularly, Covim Hodge, who really looks good in Australia? Why are they not performing?
So Chanderpaul has not been performing for a while now. It's not just Australia. It's the 18 tour. It's the South Africa tour before that as well. It's the India series. So we should not be surprised at Chanderpaul's situation. As a matter of fact, that 47 that you have on the screen there, that was only made in one innings. And let me look at my screen here. That was made of 100 and
a strike rate of 23.5.
27, right? 173 delivers at a regional game versus not the greatest of bowling. So that should tell you that he's absolutely struggling at this stage, and he needs a lot of cricket to continue to be out there in the middle to try and improve on his technical deficiencies. I said earlier in a program that I think the time has come for us to take him out of the team setting, as in the senior team, and get a batting coach to work with him directly to try and work on those technicalities. Because if he returns to international cricket like this, he's just going to continue to struggle and he's going to be a walking wicket. As far as Sinclair is concerned, for me, I think that his batting at this stage and his feeling is stronger than his bowling. So I do see Sinclair as somebody who is going to develop on his batting more and is going to move up in the batting order. Something in the mold for Steve Smith. He may start out as a number 8 or a number 9, but eventually I think his batting was going to take over his bowling. Not that I'm saying he's a great batter like Steve Smith, but I'm just saying that he's one of those persons I think will improve on his batting and will go up in the batting order over time because he doesn't get a lot of turn on the ball. He doesn't spin the ball a lot, but he'll bowl it and it comes straight through. So on pitches where the ball goes through faster, you'll find that in those wickets that he'll take, in those matches, he'll take a few more wickets. As far as Brathwaite is concerned, yes, I've already stated that I'm very, very concerned. I watched all of his innings so far and he's really looked bad. The best innings he has had so far is the 18 that he scored in the last match. And again, he was bowled off a delivery that, about 2 to 3 times we have seen such a dismissal. So yes, I'm concerned about the form of Craig Brathwaite at this time. But I said that he needs to try and improve his strike rates because he's facing adequate deliveries, but he's not rotating the strike. And I think that's a deficiency that he has. Once he tries to play a little bit more aggressive, I think that he'll find that he'll be more successful.
As far as Andre, let me hear what the other Andre say about Mackenzie. Thank you very much, Andre. Andre Douglas, what are your thoughts on Mackenzie?
Mackenzie, I just think it's a case of probably being overconfident. I don't think I wouldn't say that is so much of a technical deficiency, so to speak, but I've been overconfident and lack of concentration. The times that I've seen him gotten out in the first game. It's just a case of overconfidence. He had a poor judgment, yes, in the first match, but I think that he needs to find a way to concentrate for long periods of time. That seems to be his greatest downfall, his concentration, and he must work out a way to concentrate on to bat for long periods.
Thank you very much. Andre, Billy, the missing players, Imlach, Athanaze, and Greaves. Clearly, they should have been they should have played in the second round of the tournament. What are your thoughts on those players not participating in the second round of the tournament, Andre?
Okay, well, so when I look at it and I assess it, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think it's a case of them traveling all the way from Australia, going back to their home base, and then will have to then book a flight from their home base to wherever it is that their domestic team is playing. So I just take it as a case of them being a little bit tired, a little bit jet lagged, and they were given the option of sitting this round out. So this third round coming up now, I would expect that everybody, once not injured, should be within their senior teams.
So all three, were they in the ODI team?
Okay, so no, not after.
Athanaze and Greaves were in the ODI team?
Athanaze was in the ODI team, and Greaves was in the ODI team.
And Imlach? Okay.
And Imlach was there as well.
Okay, we know that Joshua De Silva is injured, and we know that Shamar Joseph is on his way to the PSL. Well, he would have been at the PSL. Andre Douglas, what about Alzari and Roach? Do you think they should be rested or they should be getting a blowout?
No, I mean, I think Alzari should be rested because Alzari played in all three versions, and I think he's deserving of a rest. Roach as the elder statesman, I think the time has come now. Roach he's deserving of the right that he could, take a bit of rest if he needs be, because in order to preserve him, because he's no longer young. So I can understand if Roach decides to miss a few games, But the likes of Jordan and the others should actually step up. As it relates to Greaves, I think Greaves is injured though. I remember in the last ODI they said he didn't play because of an injury. So that might be the reason why we haven't seen Greaves.
Okay, staying with you, Andre. Tell me 2 players who you think is going to shine in this third round starting tomorrow. I will just put back on the screen just for a moment here. That's the fixtures for, not tomorrow, for Wednesday's game where Jamaica will play Barbados Pride at Sabina Park. The Windward Islands will play CCC at Shedwin Park. Leeward Islands Hurricane will play Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at Warner Park. And the West Indies Academy will play the Guyana Happy Eagle at Coolidge Cricket Ground. Who should be tell me 2 players, Andre Douglas, who you think is going to perform or we should be looking out for in this 3rd round of the tournament?
Springer, I think he has been having a good tournament, and somehow I think he's going to score 100. I'm really looking forward to him scoring big. And
Andre, just a minute. You said that Shamar Springer is going to score 100. I want to write down that, and I'm going to write down that. Say it again. Let me hear Andre.
Yeah, man. I think Shamar Springer is going to score 100 and take a few wickets. Shamar Springer.
Okay, go ahead.
And Ned, I'm expecting Ned to continue on his path of taking wickets. You know, these wickets suit him. I think he's a pretty good left-arm spinner, and I expect him to continue on this path. So I expect him to get to probably get another 5 wicket haul and to do really well in the 3rd round. So Springer and Ned are the 2 players I'm expecting to do well in the 3rd round.
Andre, Billy, who are your 2 players who you think are going to do very well in this round?
Just before we move on to that, I just want to add that Kemar Roach is at Essex in England, so he has a county contract, which is good, getting some more experience in that condition before we tour. As far as Alzari Joseph is concerned, I'm concerned about him in terms of injury. I'm happy that he's resting. As a matter of fact, I don't want him to play maybe the last 2 rounds or so within the competition. I want him to get some rest. He's been doing a lot of bowling. But if he gets a T20 contract, within the period, he should take it. As relates to players that I'm looking forward to for the next round, I'm looking forward to Kevin Wickham. I mean, I've seen him bat. He looks very impressive. I'm impressed by him. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do against us, the Jamaica Scorpions, at Sabina Park, come Wednesday. The other player that I'm looking forward to in the next round is Ryan John. He has taken a few wickets. There has been a few talks about him. So I want to see if he's able to transfer those performances consistently and begin to knock on the door as far as a West Indies selection, or at least to get the selectors talking about his performance. Or is this going to be a case of good today, bad tomorrow, maybe the next day?
No, but to be in all honesty, Ryan John have been very good from last year. You have consistently bowled well after being drafted in the team at the last moment for the first match last year. So he has been bowling well, and there's a lot of discussion, especially that we are going to England, and he gets the ball to deviate a lot off the seams both ways. So it'll be very interesting to see what Ryan John will come up with. Oh, gentlemen, just before I come to the persons in the chat, and thank you for being here. Please remember to slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. Just before I come to them, Andre, Billy, who is going to win the Jamaica Scorpion Barbados Pride game?
Oh, Barbados Pride. They might have had a poor team versus the Volcanoes, a poor performance against the Volcanoes, but seeing the inconsistency of the Jamaican team and seeing that a majority of our runs was actually made by 1 player. So our other senior players in the Blackwoods, the Banners, Mackenzie and so on have not been putting any runs on the board. We see even the tail end of Pete Salmon is getting more runs than the top order batsmen. So I'm favoring the Barbados Pride to win that match. It doesn't have anything to do with me not being patriotic. I'm just looking at the realistic situation. So I think Barbados is in a better position to win that match. But having said that, you may never know, but that's my feeling.
Okay, what about the next match? The Windward Islands Volcanoes versus the CCC. Who's going to win that
Windward
match?
versus CCC, I'm favoring the CCC to win that match. As relates to Leeward Island versus TNT.
No, man. Billy, no, man. You say
okay.
Yes, man. So you're going with the CCC. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that, Andre, Billy. Andre Douglas, what about the next 2 matches? Who do you think is going to win the next 2 matches, Andre?
I have Leeward's winning against TNT. I think Leeward, you have the batters are in a bit more form there, and I think they're more experienced. So I have Leeward's over TNT, and I have Guyana winning against the inexperienced West Indies Academy team.
Why do you think that the Leewards can really beat Trinidad and Tobago Red Force?
Yeah, I think they have a few more players who a bit more experience even in the bowling department. You know, the bowling is led by Raheem Cornwall and Louis and a few others, and some good experience also in the batting, and also the informed opener in Louis. You have Louis. There's also Kesey Carty and Raheem Cornwall along with Jamar Hamilton. So I think they're in good form, and I have them against the inexperienced TNT team.
And for the West Indies Academy versus Guyana, because we have seen where the Guyana RP Eagle, they have a lot of young players on the team. Many of them would have played with these youngsters from the West Indies Academy. And these youngsters might think that they are my peers and we can take them down. So why do you give Guyana the edge?
Even though Guyana is also a pretty inexperienced team, I think that they still have a little bit more quality than the West Indies Academy team. So I give them this a slight edge.
Well, thank you very much, Andre. Now I'm going to come to the comment section because there's a lot of comments. So they are the winners that have been predicted. Andre Billy think that Barbados is going to beat Jamaica. He also think the CCC is surprisingly think the CCC will beat the Windward Islands Volcanoes, while Andre believe that Guyana and Leeward Islands Hurricane will win. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Arjuna Sharma, nice to have you here. Why are the main players not playing in the Red Ball Championship? Well, Mackenzie's playing, Atanase is not. Well, we'd have discussed that, but quite a few of the names that you have here, Mackenzie playing, Chandapal playing, Brathwaite playing, Hodge, they are playing. Where is Greaves? As you heard, Greaves is injured. So I think the panelists have answered that question. And you are saying that I am seriously hurt as a Test cricket fan, but West Indies has the worst cricket setup and domestic cricket as well. Players don't want to improve, don't want to stay at the crease. Andre, how would you respond to, and that's Andre Douglas, how would you respond to Arjun Sharma there?
Well, as it relates to don't want to stay on the crease, to stay at the crease, I can't disagree with that at all. These players, they don't seem to have the fortitude to want to do the work to stay out. Some of them, it seems as if they're playing, they have a flight to catch. They don't want to bat for a very long period of time. They just want to play a few shots and get out. So I don't think they're working hard enough at their game. And I agree with that. As to the worst league, I'm not so sure. I don't know much about some of the other leagues compared to say we have the worst league. So I can't say we have the worst league, domestic league.
Thank you very much, Andre. Good evening, Juna Benjamin. Glad to have you here from Kwame. I guess it's about midnight in England now. But Andre Billy, who is the best fast bowler, do you think, in the rest playing in the regional 4-day tournament?
Yeah, I'll have to go to Ranjan, even though he's not express pace. Jamaica have a couple of fast bowlers there in OJ Shields and the other gentleman there, I don't remember his name at the moment. But I'm going to go with Ranjan simply because he's getting a consistent line and length. Not very fast in terms of pace, but getting movements on the ball, and he's getting some wickets. So I am going to go with him as my favorite fast bowler, as the best fast bowler within the competition at the moment.
Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Casanova, that's a nice one. At least Jamaica is not at the bottom. Anton Nichols, we are looking forward to him playing in the third round. Thank you for that update. Andre Douglas, do you think that Ambijay Mansingh is the best leg spinner in the West Indies at this time?
Best leg spinner? I mean, wow. Well, so far, I don't know. But so far in what I've seen so far, he has not done much to tell me that he is the best. I mean, I was quite impressed with the little soft of Motarov, the young man. I thought that he had a lot of guile in his bowling. He varied his pace quite a bit, but there are not enough. Let me see. Hayden Walsh has not been impressive, the game that he has played so far. So that's a pretty difficult question to answer, really. I don't know to say he's the best young spinner right now. To be honest, I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Thank you very much. Now, Judah Benjamin is saying that Sinclair is bowling too fast, Andre Billy, and he needs to give the ball a chance to turn. And Judah Benjamin is always saying a spin bowler has to bowl with guile. Cornwall is the only spinner who controls how we send down the ball. Some allow, some wide, toward Fox the batsman. Do you agree? Do you agree with Judah Benjamin with those two comments that really Cornwall is really the spinner that is bowling with the most guile, and that Sinclair is bowling too fast and he needs to allow the ball to turn? Go ahead, Andre.
Well, the figures will suggest that, yes, that is the case, right? Looking here, Cornwall has a 6-4 in the competition so far, right? Yes, I do agree that Sinclair does bowl the ball a little bit too fast, and as I said initially in my previous assessment, he does not get a lot of turns, so he's usually more successful on pitches where the ball goes through faster. But having said that, a bowler has to bowl to what his strengths are. And if that is his strength, then he has to work with that. So going forward, what he has to do is to work on other technicalities to help him to turn the ball going forward. But at the moment, pushing through the ball faster is what he has as his strength. So he just has to continue to focus on that until he can do some more variations in the future. But Cornwall is the best spinner we have performing in the competition currently, and he has been doing so for a number of years now. I think if Cornwall was, no offense here, I think if he was a little bit slimmer and is able to move around the cricket field a little bit faster, I think we'll see his name a little bit more in the West Indies selection. But I think his fitness has a lot to do with his omission so many times. Don't know what we're going to do about that, but I think that's working against him.
Andre Douglas, look at that team from Sherwin. Do you agree with that team from Sherwin that he's looking forward to see these players playing in the West Indies team? Now, it's one thing to look forward to see them playing in this team, but there's another thing that they need to play in the team on a level of meritocracy, if that is a word. They need to merit their place in the team, so they need to perform to get there. So while we'll be happy to see these players perform in the West Indies team, while we'll be happy to see these players in the West Indies team, do you think their present form would suggest that they should be in the team?
If the likes of, Kevin Wickham, John, they have started out pretty well. Also, Louis, they have started pretty well. So if they continue on this path, their name should be mentioned for selection in the very near future for West Indies if they continue on this path. As to the others, they still have a lot of work to do to even get a mention. Kevin Anderson, he has not done anything so far. Teddy Bishop, I think he had a score of 65, I think. Well, though Joshua Bishop has done pretty well, but I don't think Joshua Bishop, I don't think he'd be close to selection anytime soon either. But the likes of Milios, I think Milios is pretty. He's a pretty decent player. He's a pretty decent opening batsman, and I like how I think he's a decent captain also. I like the way how he captains the team. So I think where that's concerned, he has a lot of potential. But so far, only think John and Wickham and Louis, those three would be at the forefront based on performance thus far. And they will have to continue on this path to even get their names mentioned. So, continue on this path. But the rest, I think they have a lot of work to do.
Thank you, Andre. Now, Gunnar, I just want to say something here. You said that you're looking forward to see if Louis can continue his good form. I too am looking forward, and I really want him to continue this good form. I really want to see a batsman scoring 700 runs in the tournament. So at least we can see a shining light in the tournament. Shaquille Paris, I want to say something about Paris, and probably if Paris is listening to me, this is something that he needs to understand. Paris is a good-looking batsman. But I think in assessing Paris and looking at Paris bat over the last 2 years, I think Paris' biggest challenge is that he thinks that he's better than he really is. If Paris should settle down and work hard, he has the flair, he has the stroke play, and he could be a good performer, a high-level performer. but he has to tell himself that he's not as good as he thinks he really is. It doesn't mean that he's that good. Brian Lara was good, but Phil Simon was not as good as Brian Lara. Jimmy Adams was not as good as Brian Lara or Stuart Williams. So what I'm saying is that Paris believes that he's probably a Brian Lara, when well and truly he's probably a Jimmy Adams or a Keith Arterton. And he really needs to settle down and work very hard. And I think then the sky is the limit if Paris will just take those advice on board. I've been hearing about Brian for a very long time, about 3 years now, and it is good to see that he's getting some wickets. He's bowling very fast, and I really hope that he continues to do so throughout the tournament. So thank you for that comment. And you also said that you are looking forward to Match Nandu. Well, we are looking forward to the players. Sherwin is saying that I have an eye on Craig Brathwaite, Tej Narayan Chandapal, Kemar Roach, Akeem Jordan, Zachary McCaskey, and Tevin Inlocks, who should be dropped. Andre Billy, you think those guys should be dropped? Unmute your mic, please, Andre Billy.
It appears as if Sharon wants to drop the entire team. But Craig Brathwaite, even though not in the best of form, he's our captain. And we should not be looking to change any captain at this point in time. We should be looking to build on the foundation that we have made so far. So what we need to do is to work on Craig Brathwaite in order to improve his form. Tej Narayan, I spoke about him at length already. I think he needs to be out of the team, not necessarily with the term of a job, but put aside to do some work. Kemar Roach is our senior bowler. And Talisman deserved to go on to play his 100 tests. Akeem Jordan, he came back in the regional competition, has not been performing to the level that I've expected him to. So I'll watch him some more. Zachary McCaskey, yes, I would not take him. And Imlach was like a default selection. Any wicketkeeper who puts some runs on the board will take his place.
Okay, thank you very much. That is so true. I believe in that so true. Andre, have you been... I spoke about Ryan John, Andre. Have you been seeing Ryan John, and what's your impression of him?
Yeah, I saw him in the first game. I didn't see him in the second one. But what I saw of him, I like the look of Ryan John. You know, the fact that he's able to move the ball both ways, I was quite impressed. You know, and he also to bowl, you know, for long spells, which is also very good. So I was quite impressed with the young man, and also he's able to contribute a few runs at the back end, you know, because I think he had a good partnership with Springer in the first game. So he's quite a decent cricketer, and I look forward to him continuing on this good form that he's in.
Yes, well, Juna Benjamin, a legend of this community, someone who has been here from day one, he's saying that Mansingh has the best control of the art of leg spinning. And Sammy St. Ellen is asking me if I would replace Akeem Jordan with Ryan John at this time. Of course, I would go right away and replace him. Definitely, I wouldn't have any issue. I wouldn't have any second thought according to how both players are performing at this time. And Mrs. Cricket Forum is saying, good evening to you, Mr. Brown, and the two, Andre. Andre Douglas had me laughing when he commented that some of these players play as if they had a flight to catch. Okay, Andre, you did say that, so I appreciate it, Mrs. Cricket Forum. Welcome to the show. This is what Sherwin is saying as opposed to the team that he listed just now, Andre Billy. So I guess you can look at this team. Sherwin is saying that these are the players that he expects to be in this squad.
Right, so you have Jaden Seals, I agree. Ryan John, a little asterisk, but don't have a problem if they include him. Alzari Joseph, definitely. Shamar Joseph, definitely. Right? Leg spinner, Kevlin Anderson, I don't know about that at the moment. Replace Jason as our all-rounder. If we're going to replace Jason as our all-rounder, I'd rather Justin Graves to do that job. He will bowl well in English condition. He moves the ball both ways. So I'm thinking of putting him in around number 5. One person I want to mention though in the test squad, is Raston Chase. I want to see Raston Chase get back that number 6 position.
Yeah, but we're not on that's not an agenda now, though, Billy.
Okay.
Yes, Andre. Dan is saying all the leg spinners in the region are still learning. The success they are having is because our batting is poor. What are your thoughts there, Andre Douglas?
Yeah, I mean, I agree to some extent with the likes of Mansingh and Motara. Motara is only 17. He's a very, very young man, So they're still learning their craft. And we don't have our leg spin is actually, we're not rich in terms of the number of leg spinners that we have. So, and the very few we have, I agree that we're still learning. Walsh he's probably the most experienced that we have, and he has not come to the fore just yet. But the others are still pretty young and they're very much learning their craft. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with that comment. That's true.
Billy, do you think that Trinidad, because so again, Mikel, I just saw the thoughts there that he is, thank you for your comment, but it's a bit off topic here now. And so Judah Benjamin is saying, yes, that's average, man. Let's the real, sure, I'm not getting that, So just looking at some of the comments here now, Mr. Casanova is saying, who will get picked over Tage because Chadwick Walton is 38. And Andre Billy have talked at length about Tage Narayan Chandapal. But would you pick over him, Andre Douglas?
Still early days in the competition, but I like the fact that Louis has really put his hand up because he has done well thus far. And if he continues on this path, I'm pretty much sure that he will definitely get a look in, because I mean he has scored over 300 runs thus far, and if he scores over, say, as I said, 600, 700 runs, it's going to be very difficult for him to be overlooked. So he's a front runner thus far, So let us see how the rest of season turns out.
Yes, we'd have called a number of names of players who are returning from Australia who are not playing in the regional 4-day tournament. But Andre Billy earlier mentioned Chase. Although in the context at which he mentioned Chase was off topic. But if Chase wants to get back into that test team, why is he not now playing in the regional 4-day tournament? So maybe Chase is one of the persons who I should have been asking, where is he and why is he not playing in this tournament? Or maybe he's just no longer interested in playing red ball cricket. So maybe that's the issue with Chase. I want to thank you all for being here this evening. Please remember to slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button. I want to thank Andre Douglas and thank Andre Billy for being here. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here. Have a great evening. One love. Take care of yourself and your loved ones now. Sleep well.